Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, do you remember this? The Lunchbox from Tamiya. Now, a highly successful RC for Tamiya, and these have been sold year on year. Millions of them must have been sold by now, and everybody knows of them. Now, what is it about this little fella that makes it so successful? Well, if we boil it down a little bit, we've got the price point. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. You can get one of these for very reasonable money. Also, when it comes to building it, it's two-wheel drive, so it's not a massive investment and it's not complicated. 3, the looks. Just look at it. It's absolutely stunning. The whole van, the big wheels, the kind of bouncy suspension that makes it look fun outside and puts a big smile on your face. On your marks, get set, go! Oh!
Oh no, it's been another fatal crash.
Granted, the steering's a bit iffy, but you know, that's part of it. Also, with the big wheels and tyres, it would go around the garden brilliantly, bouncing around, and it's just fun. And that's kind of the essence of what RC is. But it's been around a long time. And I think I might have found its replacement, a modern interpretation of the Lunchbox. And it's this from Arrma, the Gorgon. A two-wheel drive truck version at a reasonable price point. So in this video, we're going to check it out, and also I'm going to explain why I think this is now the modern version of the Lunchbox. If you were going to choose between having a Lunchbox and having a Gorgon, which one would you have? So yes, this is the second time I've got absolutely soaked trying to run the Gorgon, but I'm having a bit of a blast doing it, and you've got water in your face. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, I'm trying my best, but it's the UK weather for you. Ow. 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 Things I do for you lot. Now, the Gorgon's been out for a while, so I'm pretty sure you've seen a detailed unboxing. So this will just be a light refresher, I guess you'd call it. So the first thing you get is a random card. I've no idea what that does, but you get one. Then you get a multi-tool, which is a 1.5, 2mm, 2.5 hex key multi-tool thing. Then you get a USB charger. This is an S120 USB-C charger that I wouldn't recommend using. You definitely want to be charging your own stuff, as you'll be waiting forever to take the Gorgon out. But hey, it's included and it gets you going. Arrma are also kind enough to throw in 4 AA batteries for your transmitter, so you don't even have to hunt them down. You get a load of instructions, which is perfect for the beginner who's starting out, who hasn't really got a clue what they're doing at all. So you're not just going to be left to figure it out yourself. As for the transmitter, well, you get a Spectrum SLT2 transmitter, which is okay, but I can't see why they put this sticker on the top, and try peeling it off, it leaves a right mess. But the transmitter itself, it's good enough, and I like that it's got the switch so you can have it at 50%, 75 and 100% speed if you're going to give it to a youngster. As for the truck itself, It's gorgeous. I really like what they did with it personally. I love the vibrant colours. I love the kind of modern body with all the massive graphics down the side of it. I think it looks the part, and especially for this price point, I think it looks fantastic. Very simple hollow tube chassis, comes with a 40 amp Spectrum all-in-one ESC and receiver. Shocks, a little bit softer than I'd like out of the box, but perfectly usable. Also, it comes with a 550 brushed motor, which is a 14 turn, which you might think is going to be a little bit slow. Honestly, it gives the truck enough oomph for older people who want to drive it, but also for younger people you can dial it down. Now, it comes with an 8.4 volt 3300 milliamp battery, but personally shove a LiPo in it, and if you've got a stick pack 2S LiPo, you just slot it in the bottom of the chassis, and I love that because when you're out and about, removing the body can be a right pain, so you just flip it over and put another battery in the bottom. I love the big chunky soft tyres and the way that they've colour coded the chassis parts to the body that you get. And for the price point you're paying, it feels like you get a lot more for your money. So let's just do a little bit of a comparison between the Gorgon and the Lunchbox. From a height point of view, they're pretty much exactly the same. The tyres are bigger on the Gorgon, but not massively so, but they are a lot softer. The actual length of the wheelbase is much longer on the Gorgon. The actual wheelbase that you see on a Lunchbox is actually quite small, which does tend to make it a little bit harder to drive than the Gorgon, being that it's got a longer wheelbase. Now, the biggest flaw with the Lunchbox is the steering is a little bit wayward. On the Gorgon, not so. The steering is actually pretty decent. It will tend to understeer a little bit, under power, but between the two, definitely the Gorgon is the better way to go, but you can modify the Lunchbox to improve the steering, which is exactly what I've done in this one. Now, the steering that I've got here is very good after I've modified it, which is a servo relocation. That puts it a lot closer to the Gorgon, but obviously that is a modification that you have to do yourself. As from a price point of view, they are very close. I had a look this morning, and a bundle kit for the Tamiya Lunchbox is going to set you back £194.86, and that basically makes it that you get a battery, you get a charger, transmitter, receiver, motor, and everything you need to get up and running. So it's a bit more of a comparison between that bundle and what you get with the Gorgon. Now, a Gorgon in the UK, ready to run, comes with a battery, the USB charger like you've seen. That's £171 is the cheapest I can find it. So we're pretty much in the same ballpark. Basically, the Gorgon is marginally cheaper, and you'll probably save £15 to £20 depending where you get it from. Now, the next thing you're going to say is, yes, but that's a ready to run. This is a kit. You're going to have a whole build experience, which is a whole nother level and adds more fun. Yes, that is very true, and I totally get it. So what Arrma have done is they've actually produced a kit version of the Gorgon. To a certain extent, what do they call it? They call it a ready to assemble, which basically means, yes, you've got to put it together, but you don't have to put together things like the diff and the shocks, those kind of things. So from a build experience, I would lean more towards the Tamiya Lunchbox as you really get into the nitty gritty of it, even though you don't get oil shocks in the Lunchbox. Anyway, the advantage to that is you will put many more hours into the Lunchbox than you will the Gorgon kit, because they say that you can put the Gorgon kit together in an hour. So I kind of like that, as it gives you the best of both worlds. But obviously, if you want to tinker a bit more, you can dismantle the diffs and rebuild them. What about parts? Well, looking at the bodies, price-wise, again, very close indeed. So I had a look at a Gorgon. You can get a clear body, so if you want to paint it up like you would paint up a Lunchbox, you can. Obviously, that's polycarbonate. This is hard body. So that will cost you £43.87. If you want the whole kind of coloured one that you've got here, and there's about 6 options, I think there is, you're looking more along the £58. But you get the body, but you also get the colour-coded parts that go on the chassis. So that feels a little bit better from a price point. If you want to get a Lunchbox full body set, you're going to be looking at £45. So there's not much in it. Personally, I love the Lunchbox body. The hard body is brilliant. The detail and the feel of it, and obviously you paint it in a very different way than you do the polycarbonate, but very fragile. if you flip this over a good few times, you can easily crack it. So out in the garden messing around with some youngsters, the polycarbonate body is definitely going to outlast the hard body. As for parts itself, once you break it, how do you fix it? Now, both of these are in the UK are not the best for parts, but the Lunchbox takes it. Personally, I think it's easier to find parts for the Lunchbox than the Gorgon at the moment. There seems to be a real shortage of parts in the UK, not in America as far as I know, but in the UK, yeah. And also, some of the parts prices for the Gorgon don't really make much sense. I had a quick look. A diff set for the Gorgon is going to set you back £47.49. A slipper set is going to set you back £40.38. And a new Gorgon, the basic one that doesn't come with a battery or charger, you can pick up for 158, as in a whole other car for 158, when you're going to spend £50, nearly £50 on a diff set to put in it. So if you go out and you break your diff, it's going to feel a bit bad, isn't it? You've just spent £170 and now you're spending another nearly 50 to fix it just to buy the diff. I think they've got their part prices a little bit wonky in the UK. Can't say whether it's the same in America or not. If you're going to be running one of these a lot, you might want to end up buying a second one, just the car, not the one with the battery and the charger, just for parts. And that is a little bit stupid. But let's take the Gorgon out and give it a bit of a blast and see how it goes. It's going to get wet, very wet. Now, I brought it to the skate park not to bash the living daylights out of it, but just to see how it went on a nice smooth flat surface with a few small jumps. And if you take it easy, like you see I'm doing now, it will do this all day long and it will love it. It's only if you decide that you want to launch it 30 foot in the air, then you're going to break it straight away. But just driving it around, enjoying the skate park for what it is, a few little jumps, a few little bumps here and there, it just laps it up. And it's totally fast enough to be enjoyable. Yes, granted, you might probably want to upgrade it down the line to put brushless in it, but out the box, it is still totally fun. I just got absolutely soaked. Oh my god, out of nowhere. Oh my My God, I just got absolutely soaked. It just went mental. I've got a helper today, and as you can see, we've got another brilliant UK day for it. Enjoying the heart of English summer. Yes, you might recognise this skate park from other YouTuber videos. Now, one thing I can definitely say is this truck is waterproof. Yep, and it doesn't end here when it comes to water. Also, grip is obviously a bit of an issue, especially on this skate park, as the jumps are very slippery indeed. And jumping this truck, being that it's two-wheel drive, does make it a little bit harder to keep it level. Normally what you do is you accelerate if you want the nose to come up, and then you brake if you want the nose to go down. Being only two-wheel drive, you don't have quite as much control, so you're definitely going to plant it. Now, I wouldn't do more than what you're seeing now. This is about as much as I'd like to push this truck before you end up doing more and more damage to it. See, I couldn't pitch the nose forward there, and then I crashed. So if you want to gamble on having to replace some of those expensive parts, push it a little bit harder than this, and I think you're going to regret it. So yes, this is the second time I've got absolutely soaked trying to run the Gorgon, but I'm having a bit of a blast doing it, and you've got water in your face. Yep, sorry about that. So yeah, I'm trying my best, but it's the UK weather for you. Hi, welcome to RCKicks raffles. Would you like to win one of these? A brand new Gorgon from Arrma, totally for free. The ticket price for this is nothing. Yes, as a massive thank you to everybody who watches the show. We've just hit 10 million views. You can have this for nothing. Also, for all the people that have joined the other raffles and helped support the upcoming UK RC Grand Tour that's coming, thank you very much. So to give back a little bit, you could win one of these. So why won't you enter? It's totally free, cost you nothing. Also, if you live in America, I'll just buy one in America and have it sent to you, or I can just send you the money. In the UK, I can do exactly the same. But if you live in the South area and you're close to Rochester RC, I could meet you there and hand a brand new Gorgon to you, and we can get some photos and I can sign it. If that has any value to you, totally for free. Rochester RC have been kind enough to sponsor the video, so I would love to be able to meet the winner in person and hand a brand new Gorgon to them for nothing. Well, what are you waiting for? Get your ticket, it's free.
Several days later.
I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere.
Now the sun came out for about 5 seconds, so I grabbed the family and dragged them out. Now one of them's got a pumpkin and the other one has got the lunchbox. So I really wanted to give them a go on this so they could blast it around and then give me an honest opinion of what they thought versus those. So we were lucky enough to have about half an hour of dry weather. So we got to run it in the sand, in the forest and open ground as well. after a good few days of driving this and the grit and the dirt, it didn't let me down once, which is exactly what you're looking for in a first RC. That's not going to give you loads of hassle, it's just going to put a massive smile on your face.
And we don't need to do the things we don't want to do.
Oh, check this out. Right, so you've all driven lunchboxes for a long time and now you've got to experience this. If you were going to choose between having a lunchbox and having a Gorgon, which one would you have? If you want the Gorgon, put your hand up. Oh, controversial.